Good morning, Card Beanies. RJ back with another video. Let's get to it. Apologize this morning for my voice. I'm getting over a bit of a head cold I've had for a couple days now. So my voice is very scratchy because I got a very sore throat. I'm coughing and hacking all the time. But anyway, on to the important stuff. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. More of a Phillies item, but it's a book I got here called The Big 50. Philadelphia Phillies, the men and moments that made the Philadelphia Phillies. The Big 50. So it's essentially, if you go in here, I'll open it up in a second. A guy named Scott Lauber, local reporter in the Philly region. And it highlights 50 individuals, moments, things that make the Phillies what they are. And if you look at the table of contents, I'm not going to go through the whole book. It's interesting to note what you see. Number one, 1980, our first World Series championship. Number two, 2008, our second World Championship. And then, of course, the first player mentioned, number three, Michael Jack Schmidt, who is every bit synonymous with the Phillies. So, and again, it's always Michael Jack Schmidt, as Harry would say. It is never just Mike Schmidt. So, in this town, if you're going to come here, you say Michael Jack Schmidt. All right. Today's random baseball item of the day. Getting back to my boxed set collection. We went through all the Fleer ones I have, and of all those Fleer ones I have, I still am missing several. So I got a couple more to get. And I started the Tops, and I went to the Tops Kmart one from 1981-82. And then the next one they did was this here, 1985, Topps Limited Edition, all-time record holders. It was a Woolworth, that's an old department store exclusive. And this is an incredible set. I mean, if you could find this set, again, it's still, $5 or under. Don't pay more than $5. But look at the players you get. I'm going to thumb through these. What's fantastic about this set is the high quality of the players you get. Legends of the game. Also, some Hall of Famers that are really hard to find if you're a Hall of Fame collector. And you can get some incredible cards out of this set of players you don't normally see. Grover Cleveland Alexander, for example. You don't see a lot of Grover Cleveland Alexander cards. Lou Brock, Yogi Berra, they'll be in all the insert sets. This card stuck together to somebody. Steve Carlton you'll find all the time. But here's Jack Chesbro. Jack Chesbro is a Hall of Famer. You just don't find Jack Chesbro cards all over the place. Thanks to Topps Archives, you'll get a lot more Ty Cobb cards, but you don't get a lot of Sam Crawford cards. Here's Sam Crawford. So you get some of the, there are a smattering of people who aren't in the Hall of Fame. Johnny Frederick is not. Frankie Frisch is. You don't get a lot of Frankie Frisch cards. You get a lot of Lou Gehrig cards today, too, due to the some of the reprint sets that are coming out. You get a couple Hornsby ones. Walter Johnson, you'll get some more Walter Johnson cards. Nice Mickey Mantle. Don't really see that image too often pop up, that Mickey Mantle one. Nice Maris. Old Christy Matthews photo. Pretty cool. Right there. Willie Mays. A lot of these guys, like I said, are typical. You'll find them in a lot of sets. Interesting, Babe Ruth. This wasn't a photo. Obviously, this looks more like a painting, unless it was a colorized photo, but I don't know why they went that way. All right, George Sisler. You don't get a lot of George Sisler cards. Seen a couple Tris Speaker in some of the reprints. You don't get a lot of Ed Walsh cards anywhere. Certainly don't get the Wayner brothers, Lloyd and Paul, typically. Ted Williams is cool. Hack Wilson, you don't see a lot of Hack Wilson cards. And then Cy Young, you certainly do see more and more Cy Young cards. But anyway, there's not. It just tells what their records were in the back. But this is a great set, like I said, because of all the Hall of Famers that it has. And I think it's a nice set for anybody to pick up and put in their collection for that reason. So, all right. So today's trivia question, I'm going to show you the prize first. I got these cards from Kevin's Budget Card Break in one of his recent breaks. He had some contests, some sub-contests in there. And I won these two stacks of Mosaic basketball cards. And I don't care for basketball. I don't watch it. I don't collect it. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with the cards. I know a couple people out there had said, "Hey, if you don't want them, I'll take them." And I was like, I just don't want to shove them out there. So I'm gonna make those two a single prize for today's trivia question, and I'll make it kind of basketball related. So what I have here is a card of Chuck Connors, a very bad card of Chuck Connors because it's kind of a drawing. You'd think they would have been able to get a picture of Chuck Connors as a baseball player, but I guess they didn't have one. Connors, famous as an actor back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, throughout the TV movie era, mostly known for his days as the Rifleman on TV. But he did have a brief stint in baseball. He's shown here with the Cubs, but he's actually signed with the Dodgers and played briefly with them. But he also played, so he was a very famous actor. He played baseball, he played basketball, he played football. Now, what I just said is true, except for one. Which one of those is not true? Did Connors, was he not an actor? And I'm going to be silly here, but I'm just going to say it like this. Was he not an actor? Was he not a baseball star? Was he not a basketball star? Or was he not a football star? So tell me, which of those is not true for Chuck Connors? And you'll be entered into the drawing on Sunday to win those stacks of Mosaic cards. I will take a moment here to thumb through them so you can see them. I don't know the players. I don't know the parallel. I don't know their worth. I do not care. So for all I know, I'm giving away $1,000 card. Not interested. Just, I'm going to thumb through. If you guys know your cards, well, there's Larry Bird. I know Larry Bird. But if you guys know your players, maybe you'll see something in here that makes your eyes bug out and go, "Ooh, I got to have that." Well, if that's the case, here's your chance. Just, throw an answer to the trivia question. I think these are all rookie cards here. And again, I have no clue who these players are at all. But this whole set of cards can be yours if you just throw an answer to the question and you're the one randomly selected on Sunday. I always do my drawings on Sunday. So these are all your Mosaic cards that I got in Kevin's break the other day. So there you have it. I'll take answers today and tomorrow. And on Sunday, we'll do the drawing, all right? Good luck to that. Today's story time. I'm trying to find more interesting things to talk about rather than just show off some cards. I'm going to put my, I dropped something. I'm going to put my holder up here for a second. This is my box card set holder there. And I want to talk today about Babe Ruth and his called shot. Pulled these cards out of the Babe Ruth collection. There's a collection of cards, mega cards put out back in I think it was 92, 132 or like 164 cards highlighting Babe Ruth's life and career. And there were 5 cards. Here they are. This guy's not cooperating too much. Highlighting the called shot. How does Babe remember it? How do players remember it? How does everybody remember it? Everybody knows the story of the called shot. 1932 World Series, Ruth's last World Series. Playing the Chicago Cubs. He's in Chicago. And the Cub players are hounding him and hounding him and hounding him. And he gets sick and tired. He finally says, "I'm going to hit the next pitch over the center field wall for a home run," which he does. So a little bit of backstory on this. Some of the truth to what happened. Why were the Cubs players giving Ruth such a hard time? Well, the story there stems to something that happened in the offseason that had nothing to do per se with Babe Ruth or the Yankees exactly. There's a player, former player named Mark Koenig, was a player for the Yankees for a while. He was on this 27 World Series team, but he subsequently got traded to the Tigers, eventually released by the Tigers and signed by the Cubs in the middle of the 32 season. So he gets signed. He plays for about 33 games in the 32 season for the Cubs. So they make it to the World Series. Um, Back in the day, the players, but back in the early days of baseball, remember, getting to the World Series meant you got a share of the World Series prize money, and that was big to the players back then. You could get some of the younger players who weren't stars and were getting paid peanuts could actually make more from a World Series share than they could in their annual salary. So it was very important to these players to get the money if they won the World Series. Even getting there, they got even lose your share was pretty good. So when you got to the World Series and you got the prize money, it was given to the players. They divided it amongst themselves equally, but they also had the ability to vote lesser shares to players who came in the middle of the season or other such circumstances. So in Mark Koenig's case, the Cub players voted before the series that he would only get a half a share, and they would keep the rest of the money and divide that, increase their uh, pot to divide amongst themselves. I don't know if Mark cared one way or the other, but word got back to the Yankee players that Mark Koenig was only voted a half share. So they went into the World Series, just ticked at the Cubs. They were just absolutely mad as hell that the Cubs would do this to their former teammate and friend. So the whole series, both teams were just jabbing at each other. Now they don't like each other. You're talking about back in the early days of the game, the National League and the American League still hated each other. Baseball players were loyal to their teams because of the reserve clause, so you hated the other teams. So there was bad blood all around for these two teams. Um, so they were riding each other all the time. It wasn't unique. Now, the Yankees were up 2-0 when it went to Chicago. Now, in the World Series, they swept the Cubs in this World Series. It was 4-0. But so they go to the World Series in Chicago, and the Cub players are just all over. The fans are all over Ruth. I mean, it's just, I'm sure they're all over the rest of the Yankee players too. Excuse me. But definitely riding Ruth real hard. So, um, sure enough, he comes up in this situation. I believe it was like the bottom of the or the top of the fifth, um, and the players are just absolutely coming after him, and he's gestured back. There actually was video footage. Somebody uncovered a private citizen had taken video from the fan from the stands, and you could see the gestures that Ruth was making. And if you look, he's clearly taunting the team bench, not pointing to the outfield. And you can see him holding up his fingers, and it looks like he's holding up two fingers, and he's pointing to the bench. But if you were in the stands, maybe you might have mistook that for pointing to center field. But he was clearly pointing and talking to the fans, or to the other team, I should say. He's talking to the other dugout, and maybe like the first pitch was a strike, and he held up one finger and he pointed, "That's only one, guys," or something like that. And there was a 2-second strike. That's only two. You can see two fingers stuck up. And then Charlie Root's the pitcher. Charlie Root throws, and sure enough, Babe Ruth cracks the home run. And there's famous video of him rounding the bases and constantly waving his arms and mocking the Cubs. I mean, it's a classic video if you get a chance to look it up of him rounding the bases and mocking the Cubs players and just laughing his head off. And he just did that. I mean, that's classic. And in the reports the next day, nothing was mentioned of it. Nothing was. What happened was a couple of days later, the World Series was over, and some reporter, I can't remember where, wrote a story about the incident and noted that he saw Babe Ruth pointing to center field when he called that shot. And that's where the story spun out of, is this reporter's take. Prior to the reporter saying it, nobody had claimed that Ruth had called a shot. He never said he had done it. He never told anybody he did it. The Cubs players never said, how rude it was that he did it. They just all took the word of this reporter. So that's the story of Babe Ruth's called shot. Did he call his shot? Of course they did not. No, he did not. I'm going to do a little quick thing here. I'm going to turn these cards around there and show you what it says on each of these cards. If you want to pause and read these cards from the back of these Babe Ruth collection cards, you're welcome to do that. Try to do that for you so you can get a little bit of the story if you want to. But yeah, no, Babe Ruth, there's no way he called his shot. It's a great story. It's certainly part of the baseball lore. It did not happen. But, you know, baseball and all sport is filled with anecdotes of things that did not happen, but that make our preferred sport, endearing to us. So there you have it. I hope you liked that little trip down memory lane story time. I hope you get a chance to try on the trivia question and win those Mosaic cards based upon the career of Chuck Connors. Be doing another video on Wednesday, another trivia, another great prize, I hope, to see you all back then, okay? Sorry for the voice. It'll be on the next videos as well, but thanks for watching. Take care.